So yeah, hi everyone. Good morning and good evening from wherever you're joining. So welcome to this Tamil Bhumi's online class. So we are conducting a weekly meetup, and this week we have a different kind of a set, and we'll be discussing about introduction to cybersecurity, and we are launching a course on it. So it's going to be in English. Previously we take it on in Tamil, and now we are planning to do it in English so that a lot of more scenarios and more people will be able to cover. So this course will be taken in 2 months, and it's a weekend course. And today we will see what is internet security, what is security, and why we need it. So at the time of war, it's multiple wars are happening in the world, so the attacks are more. So how do we prevent, and how companies are using the professionals like Shiva to how to stop those threats. So hi Shiva. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Hello,
Yeah,
everyone.
hi. Thanks, Shiva. Thanks for joining and sharing your knowledge. And today, Shiva will be taking us through the introduction to cybersecurity and why it is important, and what are the things we can learn. And there are two things to cybersecurity, so that Shiva will talk about. So, Shiva, over to you.
Thank you so much. That was nice intro. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So, hello guys. Welcome to Tamil Bhumi. I like to introduce myself first. Myself Shiva, and I'm basically located in Abu Dhabi, and I'm currently working in Jusat as a cybersecurity consultant. So I'm taking care of the security operations, security automation, and the threat intelligence. So I have 10 plus years of experience in cybersecurity, and also I had my master degree in cyber forensics and information security. So we will be going into the cybersecurity fundamentals today. I have a good presentation for you guys. So in case of any queries, any doubts you want to clarify, you can stop me anywhere and you can ask your questions. We can discuss a lot. So let me share my screen and then we can quickly get into the subject. Guys, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we are able to see.
Yeah. Thanks for the confirmation. So today we are going to see the fundamentals of cybersecurity. So I have a quick topics to be covered here. So let me show you the topics. What are all the things that we are going to cover? So first thing that we are going to talk about the cybersecurity attacks. What are all the different attacks? So I have a one very basic scenario for you guys to understand what is cyber attack and how the attack will be performed. And then types of hackers, we have different types of hackers to understand about the hackers and what they are, what they will do, what is the motivation of the hackers. And then we have the third point, we have also having like what is cybersecurity and the components of cybersecurity and common cyber threats, different types of threats, attacks that attackers performing across the globe. And then we have the scope, which helps us like we will discuss more on how the job openings and how much the scope would be, what are all the different domains and verticals inside the cybersecurity. And then finally, we have the Q&A sessions, which is your favorite. Probably you can ask, put me in what are the questions related to cybersecurity. I can help you to the max. So the scenario first is, let's say you all aware of the cybersecurity, cyber attacks. You might see in news, there are websites getting compromised, there are attacks going on, data has been breached. So that this company had lost a lot of reputations. So this kind of so many scenarios around the world you might see in news, emails, news feeds, forums, blogs, everywhere. So I just pick up one a basic scenario. We have a Teju here. So Teju is like regular activities to shopping and putting that into the social media that I bought this from this, I got an offer. So she is a typically a normal woman who get into all the shoppings and the social media stuff. And she one day she bought in something on Amazon or Flipkart, whatever the website shopping site, and then she posted in the website stating that I brought this particular bag and we got the discount and so many things. So she'll be the very active girl in the social media forum. And let's say now at the below you can see there is an attacker who sits and watching all the people's what are all the posting and the social media. Now the Instagram is going, the reels are going, whoever put the reels, you can just scroll up and seeing a lot of reels, a lot of people's. Likewise, an attacker sees Teju is more interested in shopping, and she is putting a lot of things into the social media thing. So now what attacker will do is attacker will do as kind of a social engineering technique and a stalking one. So attacker gets the Teju's email address from us, like social media forum, whether she put somewhere, and then attacker sends the email to the Teju's, okay, stating that we have a super wonderful offer. You just click this, you will get a 95% of offer, and you can buy a lot of things with that. We will provide you the coupon, a lot of stuffs like that. And then Teju saw that email and she got very impressed and she want to grab that offer. And then at the third stage, you can see there is a sale here, and which is a malicious link, which is encoded into the email address which attacker sends, and it receives to the Teju's inbox. After seeing that, what obviously Tejas is going to click that link because she wants the offer. And then once she clicked the particular link and Teju's mobile or whatever the system, so that after clicking that link, the link will redirect to the fake website. Teju doesn't aware of what is the website because she doesn't care about the cybersecurity. She doesn't know how to, identify the site is, it's a legitimate or it's a bad website. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't care about anything cybersecurity. She just clicked and then boom, then it will redirect to the fake website, and then it asks for the username, password, card details, everything, and Tejas provided, and then it simply went to the attacker. And next day, Tejas got compromised, and like $10,000 or whatever the amount which is inside the Tejas account is gone. So this is the typical example which is happening in the real time world. Most of the people doesn't aware of what is cybersecurity, so they simply get into this kind of scenarios, and then they got lose the money, lose the reputation, data theft. There are so many things happening behind this kind of scenarios. I'm just telling you a small example of this. There are so many scenarios in the real time world which we are seeing as a cybersecurity professional, and we will be discussing a lot of scenarios like this to understand more about what is happening at the back end. So now this particular attacker, and you can see here, so we call it as hackers. Okay, so there are different types of hackers here doing different types of techniques or different types of attacks. So what we are going to study in this cybersecurity course is obviously about this complete framework, how the attacker is stealing the information about the user stage, and then what kind of technique you used to attack Teju's username, password, or confidential detail. So in this scenario, so we call it as a phishing. This is a phishing attack. So attacker is using a phishing attack to steal the information, Teju's information. So this phishing attack, how does it works and what are all the tools that we can use, both defense and the preventive mechanism. So these are all the things that we are going to learn. Likewise, we are going to discuss about so many scenarios in upcoming in the course. So now we have types of attackers, and you can say hackers as well. So we have a four types majorly, the globally, the people they recognize as them as like white hat, black hat, gray hat, and suicide hackers. So white hat is the good people who have the licensed people. They learn they get certified, they work for the organization, they find any vulnerability and they will inform to the concerned team. They work for defense to prevent the attacker to steal the information about the organization or whoever it is. So white hat is the people are good people, are they ethically, they're licensed, they are professional people. And then we have a black hat. So black hat is like unethical people. So they is like highly motivated by the money, or they want to steal the data, they want to do anything they want. So they will be like, sitting under any of the mission, stealing the data without knowing the users. So this is the black hat, and they are like, offensive people. And if whatever the data which they are having with them, so that is not guarantee that would be posted in anywhere in the website or social media to lose the reputation. So they will keep, impacting the organization or impacting the people. And then we have the gray hat. Gray hat is something like half white and half black, let's say 50 and 50. So the people who like, motivated for the money, only for the money. So let's say if my company is providing me most of the, like, more money for providing the information, so I will give that information to my company. If the attacker or any other hacker group is giving the money for the confidential information, I will give that information to the offensive team, so the black hat team. So this way they can be, cat on the wall, they can go this side or this side, we cannot know. So these people, we call it as a gray hat. And then finally we have the suicide hackers, who doesn't care about anything, who's like, working for a lot, many hours to target a single company. So this guys like, will be very dangerous. They will be white collar crimes, sitting inside the organization for a years and steal the data. And uh, they will don't care about the reputation, because they have only one motivated, which is they want to compromise one company. So even they caught by the police, they won't care, because they want to do that particular thing. So these people, we call it as a suicide hackers, because if they want to achieve something, they will definitely do it. They will do anything they want. Like they will, like, apply for that company. They will sit in the company. They will work for a long. They will steal the data, and one day they will post in the dark web, and then they will went off. So even if we can trace them, if you can just go and give the complaint against them, they can ready to go to the jail. They won't care, because they already did whatever they want. So these people, we call it as a suicide hackers. So these are the four types of hackers that we are, like, the very dangerous in across the globe. And we have so many other peoples as well. Slowly we can see into our course. That's another small people. Let's say we call it as a one another gang. We call it script kiddies, who, like, the coders, the developers who knows the programming language. If they find some vulnerabilities into the application, they can easily break into that. They can steal the information, or they can transfer the money if they want. So these people, we call it as a script kiddies. And this people is also another type of hackers, but I didn't mention here because there are other so many things that we need to cover. So these are the four types of hackers. Any questions so far in this two slides? Okay.
One question, Ji.
Yes, please.
So, what are the hackers you faced with when your experience?
Okay. See, the major thing is the black hat hackers,
Okay.
because these people is the offensive people who trying to steal the information, who trying to do the attacks towards the organization. So we call it as hackers. So this black hat, we doesn't know whether they are black hat or the gray hat, the white hat. That's a different story. But as an organization perspective, as a white hacker, as an professional, when there is an attack coming from one person to my company, I will consider that person as a black hat. I consider that person as an attacker or a hacker. So we, whatever the offensive people or the offensive side, we call it as a black hat, and that's where the people will do. So this hackers is the most dangerous. We call it black hat.
Okay, surely.
And there are a lot of other groups you can browse for it. There is a people called anonymous. Some people
Yeah.
might know about this groups called anonymous group, who
Yeah.
does very dangerous guys who located in Iran and different other worlds. Even now, last week we got an attack called Sudan APT group, anonymous group, who targeted the UAE, the Dubai, and Abu Dhabi. So this people is Black Hat people, anonymous group.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, so to prevent all this, to prevent the phishing attack, whatever the scenario we seen, and then you see now a lot of different types of attackers. So now the cybersecurity comes into the picture to prevent, to protect all kind of scenarios from these peoples. Okay, so what I mentioned here is, so cybersecurity is a process, practice, and the technology designed to protect the networks, computers, peoples, programs, infrastructure, whatever, okay, in the organization. So we call it all this as an asset. So the important asset for the organization is the people, and then the people's data and the confidential data, whatever the organization. So to protect all this, we need the cybersecurity. So the cybersecurity name itself will not be enough. We also required the process, the practice, the technologies. So the process means you have a set of people, different domains, different areas of companies. Let's say one company is doing import and export, and another company is doing logistics, another company is doing HR consultant, another company is shopping site or developing. So there are so many companies who doing so many different types of businesses. So all these businesses, it has to come inside the process, the cybersecurity process, because each of this company all handling the critical datas, all datas needs to be protected. Okay, so cybersecurity is not only for the cybersecurity company or only for the technology companies, because this thing is important to all the companies, for all the businesses. So whatever the businesses, the people will do, they has to come into the process of cybersecurity for protecting the data. And then we have the practices. So we call the best practices. We have the frameworks. We have the most people, the most other companies are doing the cybersecurity in a better way. We need to do, we need to follow, we need to get the guidance from the proper people, proper skilled people to achieve the cybersecurity, what we need to do, how to protect the data, what are all the teams we required, what are all the tool stacks that we require, and how data needs to be handled. So this kind of things we need to get from the details needs to be collected from the skilled person, that needs to be implemented, that needs to be practiced by all the employees to implement the cybersecurity. And then we have the technology designed. We have a different set of technologies. So cybersecurity, it's not something we can do it with zero, because cybersecurity needs the investment, and we need some tools. We need something to bring all the data to be monitored. All the data logs comes inside to the centralized area to do monitoring, and we need the proper networking thing, the infrastructure. Let's take an example. You all know the firewall, right? All the companies, you see the small companies and the mid-scale companies, at least they have one firewall in place, behind their LAN. So whenever the internet comes into the company, the firewall needs to be allowed. So this is one kind of a small investment, a small technology requires for the cybersecurity. Similar way, how big is your company? How many data that you are handling? So according to that, you need to do an investment. You need to buy some tools to protect the data. So what we are going to protect is, we are going to protect the information from the attack. So the cyber attacks, I'm going to show you what are all the different types of attack in next slide. So, and then those attacks needs to be stopped using the process, procedures, standards, and the tools and the technologies. And we also stop the attacker to accessing our data. So if the attacker is accessing, so that we call it as an unauthorized access. So we need to stop that unauthorized access. So this is what the cybersecurity that we are doing so far. I'm just telling in a single line, but there are so many things that happening at the background. And we will see slowly what is inside that, what are all the tools, what are all the process, what are all the procedures that we use, and how the team has been segregated, and how they are bringing up the logs into the centralized system for monitoring. All the stuff we are going to see about the cybersecurity completely in this course. So there are three components in cybersecurity. We call it as a confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Because I've been, as like I told you, I've been here for cybersecurity in 10 years, and I'm just doing these three things always, in keeping in my mind confidentiality, integrity, availability. Whatever the tool stack which comes, whatever the people that you recruit, you are doing it to protect these three layers: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So let's talk about the confidentiality first. So confidentiality, you have a certain data, you have in the company, you are having a data, you are having the data center, you having the computer, you have so many things. But we need to know who's accessing what, and the data, whether, let's say I'm Shiva, I'm able to access this particular data. Am I allowed to access this particular data? So this particular question need to be asked every time by the security professional. So I have a certain data, who's going to have the access for this? Because we cannot give the access to everybody, and then there is no confidentiality. So each data needs to be segregated, and we need to assign who's going to access what data. So this is called like a data segregation that we will do, and this is confidentiality. If you do that, then you might be, like, comes under the protection. So your protection score will be increased when you do the confidentiality properly. And then we have a integrity. So integrity is like data modification. I am just sending one email to my boss. Okay. What if somebody interrupt and get that message and modify it, change that email as a resignation email and send to my boss, then my reputation will gone. So the data has been modified. It is tampered. So my integrity is lost. So the data should not be modified. So the first layer in the confidentiality, what you're seeing is who's having access to what data, and in the integrity, who is, like, the data is not modified. So the data is whatever the data which I'm sending, that needs to be delivered at the same place. So it should not be modified. That is the integrity of the data. And third thing is availability. Whenever I want the data, my data, it should be accessible. It should be accessible 24/7. So let's say if I'm working in a medical company, a medical insurance company, I have certain data, and there is a person who admitted in the hospital and he's applying for the, insurance claim or something related to emergency case. And if my data is not available, I don't know who's the person is reaching out to me, and I'm unable to respond, and there's going to be a big issue, right? So the availability is a very important. Whenever there is a data is required to be available, and it needs to be available, and whatever the costs it could be, we should be ensure the data should be available for the customers or whoever want in 24/7. For this, to accomplish these things, we will call it disaster recovery or business continuity plan, business continuity management. We will have the backup server. If one server goes down, and there will be a, active passive mode, the another data center will, up and running. Now you can see we have a Chennai flood, and there is a data center which is inside the Chennai, and we also have the data center, backup data center in Bangalore. If the Chennai is going to be flood, and there is no, the network connectivity there, we probably route into the Bangalore, and then we will get all the, required data from the Bangalore, because we have the replicated data, the data center in the Bangalore as well for Chennai. And for the Bangalore, we have the Chennai. So this is the business continuity plan that we will do it for maintaining the availability. So such wise, we have, for the integrity, we have the hashing function. So when there is a data modification happen, the hash code will be changed. That we will see in a practicals. And then for the confidentiality, you might know. So if any of the people who's working in the organization, when you're trying to send an email, you might see there is a code called public, private. So there is a classification for the data, whatever the emails that you're sent from your uh, 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 company's email ID. So those kind of a classification will be there for the organization for each and every data to implement the confidentiality. So this is the very major thing in cybersecurity. So whatever the tools that we are working, whatever the attack we prevent to, this is the three core area that we used to keep in our mind. Any questions so far, team? In this?
Siva, one quick question for that. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, like we are talking about cybersecurity, like it's more cybersecurity. It's only for on-premises data center, right? For example, nowadays every cloud flavor they have already lot of security in place. So, in that case, whether on what type of scenario we need to worry for the cybersecurity, specifically on-prem or cloud side? Just I need to understand, because in a lot of clients they have every in their data and end-to-end their network in cloud. So in the cloud side, the cloud vendor itself, they already have a lot of security in place, right? So that's what my question for that.
Yeah. That was a nice question because I didn't mention about anything on the cloud, but you pitched me in. Thank you so much for that. So yes, the on-prem and the cloud. On-prem, whatever like we have all the data center in the company, and then now we have so many cloud services has been onboarded, especially in India as well, and all over the globe. We have AWS, we have Azure, we have. What else? Digital ocean, yes. So but what I can see from my perspective is whatever the users has already migrated to the cloud, still they are using the endpoint machines, right? So when you try to just log in with your Outlook, okay, it will be connected to your AD is called Active Directory, where the authentication will happen and it will success and it will get into your email account. And this particular AD, you have on-prem and you have migrated to cloud. But anyway, the user is sitting in the laptop, in the endpoint solution, where connecting to cloud or on-prem, it doesn't matter. The user is also under the risk. Okay. So, and whatever the components you are migrated inside the cloud, so the cloud now have so many API queries which is running, which is connecting between different integrations, different modules, right? So you need to worry about that. You need to bring all the log sources into the one centralized area, and you need to try to monitoring. I have one major cloud in the Dubai, which we call it as a G42, which is Huawei cloud. And you know what, like there are 40 plus people working in a single shift to monitor the data, because that much attack is coming towards that particular organization. All the customer data has been hosted in the cloud. We have a different customers and hosted in the cloud, and still the attackers is trying to attack into the cloud infrastructure, and attacks is also happening, and it is drastically increasing day by day. So even if you are using on-prem cloud, it doesn't matter. The attack is going to happen. It's going to be still there, and the cybersecurity, requirement is also needed in the cloud area.
Yeah.
Will that answer?
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Thanks for your explanation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have one question.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just now you explaining about infrastructure security. It doesn't matter on-prem or cloud.
Yes.
When we are talking about security, it comes in all level, like application level security, infrastructure level security. In future, whenever they're talking about DevOps, they're saying DevSecOps, and Kubernetes also, CKS certifications and other securities. So someone says I'm a cybersecurity expert. So they need to focus on all these aspects, or this is any separate specific path?
So what we do is there are different technologies comes in. We in the traditional way of approaching the security, we have only 3-4 flavors. We say Windows, Linux, and then you have Mac. Okay, so we bring all this log sources into the centralized log monitoring, and then we will monitor all the logs, the user authentication logs, the application logs, and then the event logs, whatever this kind of logs that we will collect and keep it, and then we will start monitoring. And then on top of that, we will put rules like an hypothesis. Let's say if an user is trying to log in and he tries like 20 times 20 times login failure, and 21 or 22nd he successfully logged in. Okay, so is this a suspicious activity?
Yes, that's right.
Correct. Okay, now you have the log source, you collected all the events, and top of that you have the rules, and then you detected some suspicious activity. Similar way, you bring all the DevOps, you bring the Kubernetes, you bring the Dockers, you bring everything, AI, machine learning, whatever the application, different set of things. So we will be collecting all these logs, and we have some set of content hub, which is rules. On top of that, you need to write what is this application, what is this used for, and what are all the suspicious activity I can detect with this application. Okay, I will write those rules. So let's say an attacker compromised into the Docker engine and he's spinning a 2 more 3 4 Dockers at the in a 5 minutes. So this looks like a suspicious activity for me. So I'm going to write a rule on this my SIM. SIM is the tool. I will explain that later. So let's say like some XYZ tool, which is monitoring all this stuff. And I'm just writing the rule on top of that, and I will able to detect that. In this way, we will work whatever the application that you onboard now or near future. This is the procedure or the process that we will follow to monitor the new technologies.
So if I'm understanding correctly, so every aspect of our DevOps guys, DevSecOps guys, they build their own. On top of it, you are creating the SIM and define the rules. So how many times you can authentication on the authorization, right?
Yes. Authentication is the one example I gave, but according to the tool, we might be building so many rules.
Okay. So that's the way we can differentiate cybersecurity versus the DevSecOps engineer role, actually.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is a very good clarification. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah. So now the different types of threats that you're seeing, what attacker is going to perform, like is performing currently. We have a phishing, we have malware and ransomware attacks, we have DDoS, we have social media attacks. So phishing, like the scenario which we saw earlier, the sending of the email, asking the user to click, getting the username and password. And then we have malware. It's a piece of software which will be installed in your computer, and it will do the malfunction, creating the duplicate files, stealing the information and uploading into the cloud, this kind of things this malware does. And then we have the ransomware. This is very, very dangerous attack. When organization says an ransomware attack, then that is P1 for us. It's a priority one, because in the ransomware attack, all your files will be encrypted, and then you cannot able to access your machine. And they will ask you to pay a money in the Bitcoins, then only they will provide the key. So we are not sure whether if we pay in Bitcoins also, we will not get the key from the attacker. But ransomware is the most dangerous attack. And then we have the DDoS. So DDoS is denial of service, or we call it as a distributed denial of service. So it's like sending a huge number of traffic to the endpoint machine attacker, and your machine will be unable to respond, like your server. Let's take an example. We have a bank server, a major bank in India, and there are so many people using internet banking. What if you're during the transfer, if the bank server is failed and amount got detected from your account and you don't know where the amount is went? So due to this kind of a DDoS attack, this kind of scenarios happen. So DDoS attack is also a highly dangerous attack. And then we have the social media attacks. like your Instagram, your Facebook, like the phishing sites we will be creating and asking user to click on this link. People click and they will get compromised. So we will see all this attack in a practicals in this particular course. So this is like I'm just providing us a few example of this attacks. We have different types of attacks also. There are so many techniques. As of last month, approximately attackers are using, there are 750 plus techniques, and there are 12 tactics has been there. You can see in a MITRE framework. I will provide you the details in our course, of course. So these are all the different types of attacks I just want to share with you. And now you see what is cybersecurity, what is attack, what the attacker will do, everything. Now, the next question is, how are we going to protect the organization from all this stuff? So what are these are the three things which is required. One is skilled professional, another one is tools and the products. And then we have the important thing is policy, procedures, and standards. So these are the three things is highly required to protect the organization. So the skilled professionals, you are the skilled professionals. Once you learn the cybersecurity and all the verticals and what needs to do, how to monitor, how to do the investigation, how to respond to the incidents, and you are the skilled professional. And then the tools and products. So obviously we require the tool sets to monitor, to protect. We need at least the antivirus solutions installed in our computer to monitor the system. So these are all, we have a firewall, another thing. So we need a firewall to protect our network. So these are all the tools and products we require to do the monitoring. For implementing the cybersecurity, all the companies, they have some set of investment budget they have planned. If not, we have to use the open source, which is the free versions, free available. So that again required a lot of efforts to needs to be done to study the open source and to implement that. In our course, we mostly see about the open source tool stack, which is the freely available. We are not asking you guys to pay or to buy this particular product, to use this particular product. So there is nothing like that. So we are going to use the open source tools, which is available in the market, whether you can download in your machine and you can use it. And you can also, if you are working for any small scale industries or small or mid industry that you want to do a cybersecurity implementation there, you can use the same tools, and you can always ask me. I can also provide you the details and the installation guide and how to do the monitoring stuff. And then finally, we have the policies, procedures, and standard. We have different policies here. We were going to see about the ISO 27000. You might know the ISO. We have the Information Security Management System, ISO 27001, 2, 3, the implementations. So we will see about all the policies, what are all the controls inside, how organization needs to be protected, what are all the things we required to implement the cybersecurity to get the ISO certified. So this kind of policy document, I'm having that. I'm going to share you all these details about the controls and everything. So if you have these three things in place in your organization, of course, yes, you are protected. You're good. You're doing good. And then there are few assessments that we might do to see how your security posture. After that, you might say that, yeah, my organization is somehow protected. We have this. Likewise, we can say. So this is how we are being protected from the cyber attack. And so we have the cybersecurity scope here. So this is the another important thing. So you guys are, came for the cybersecurity course, and you need to understand this scope, what is exactly happening in the market. So what I can see here is there are so many cyber attacks is like happening day by day, and there are a lot of recruitment is going on for the cybersecurity analyst. And you have a different verticals here. On your right, you can see incident response, vulnerability assessment, IT security auditing, penetration testing, security implementation, or an architect, you can say, or the threat intelligence. Other than this, we have security automation, security AI, machine learning. So there, security engineering is another core area. So there are so many things, so many verticals in the cybersecurity, and there are a lot of recruitment is also going on. If not, you can also check in the Naukri or Monster Job, whatever the comfortable job portals you have. You can just search for the security analyst. You might see at least 20-25 posts per week for the cybersecurity, because the cyber attacks is tremendously increasing, and the people recruiting for the cybersecurity, the HR recruiting for cybersecurity is also high. So I think this would be the good time to start and see the cybersecurity, and in future the cybersecurity is also embedding with the AI and the machine learning. So when you start the cybersecurity, so that's going to be the good start for now. And in future, you can also take your career into the cybersecurity AI as well. So there are a lot of possibilities, but you need to bring the foundation strong. Put the foundation strong. You need to complete the cybersecurity course. So these are all the verticals that you can apply for the future or after this course, and we will help you out for all the assessments, for the interview questions, for the trainings, and for your CV development, everything that we are also going to help you out for this cybersecurity, getting into your cybersecurity. Any questions? Obviously, for the next slide, we have the question and answer session. So I'm open to your questions. Please, yes, Vijay.
Hey, yeah, it's a very good presentation on cybersecurity. Yeah, I have one quick question. These days, everyone is integrating AI, all these large language models. So I hear a lot of security attacks happening in this area. So how do we prevent when people are integrating? What measures they should take?
So to understand your question properly, you are asking whether the cybersecurity is integrated with the AI. What are all the attacks that we are going to get? Is this your question?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we already know like SQL injection attacks. There are known attacks, right? Now people are
Yes.
trying the text-based attack with this new tools. Because if you see, everyone is integrating it now, right? Because they want to capture the market. So how can we help them? Like, what are the measures we already know, like readily available in the market? Yeah, that's my question. Yes.
Yeah. See, for AI, we have the decision matrix inside the place of AI. We will train our AI in the cybersecurity. We give a lot of data to them, to the AI solution. So obviously, the AI at the back end, it has a good amount of confidential data. Okay, good amount of data that it is taking decision with, and it is working with. When attacker is trying to target the AI, so the attacker is more interested into what is the data, what the organization is given to the AI solutions. So what we are doing is whatever the AI that we are building inside our organization, it would be in the demilitarized, it will be not in the demilitarized zone. So it could be in the segregated, it would be isolated from the network, I could say. So it cannot be accessible from the outside world. So there is only one solution can able to access our AI is whatever the outputs we are getting it from. So in this way, we are protecting our AI services, and none of the company is ready to bring that AI solution to the internet facing. So we have a two kind of segregation. One is the internet facing devices or the solutions, and then we have this completely isolated network, which is not to the outside world. So all the AIs that organization is internally building and that you want to do connecting with them, it will be in the isolated network. And the second thing is the text-based, like whatever you can handle with the query, whatever you do, about the SQL injection, right?
Right.
So similar way, if you want to ask a question to the AI and to try to get the details, of course, these things are happening now. because we are at the starting point of the AI. We don't have any content based security solution yet implemented in the for the AI especially. But what the security professionals are doing, they are building the internal module for the AI to understand this kind of a question, to stop responding. Or now you can see in the chat GPT version 3, if you are trying to ask for anything related to hacking or the mechanism, so AI is trying to stop responding to that, stating that this is like offensive, I will not provide this and stuff like that. So this way, so the LLM, whatever the information that AI is handling, we need to do a lot of fine tuning there. So that is still it's going on. So we are not 100% sure how that module is going to work in the future.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, fine tuning is required from the security perspective. Yeah, thanks. I got it. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Vijay. Any other questions, team?
Yeah, sure. I have few questions, but it's not related to technical. But yeah, this session was really wonderful. I get to know a lot of things. But one main thing is the security is not only about companies, right? Even individuals, like let's say now we've seen the scams like anything. Like people are trying to call us and then say, okay, see your account is hacked, or we are from police, you pay us some money, something like that, right? The identity theft. And also there are more things happening to individual people. So my question is like, does our course like they also can join and learn about protecting themselves, or this is just only for the people who's protecting the company?
So we basically goes for the companies related to that, because whatever the tool stacks or whatever the techniques that we are using throughout the sessions would be covered for the people who's working for the organization or the small or large or mid scale. There are sessions which we will be covering internally inside this course is cybersecurity awareness. So the individual requires the awareness about the cybersecurity. So this is not the awareness. So this is about the cybersecurity implementations, I could say.
Cool. Yeah, I get it. So just I know this, just I'm asking so that people will be clarified, right? So that's it. And also, so the companies, it's not only security person, right? Let's say I'm a data engineer. It's very much interested because I want to learn. And this is the overall horizontal. Every coder or everybody needs to know so that they can, when I write a code after learning the security, I would be able to write better codes. That's what I see. So from my perspective, yeah, it's not only for security purpose, but whom are working in IT, they can, learn this. So what's your thoughts on this?
Yes. So whoever working on the IT, like they are in a developer or they are in a different background in working in an IT, and this cybersecurity course is going to help them open up a gate for them to grow their career into the new path into the cybersecurity. They can, activate themselves into the cybersecurity analyst inside the organization. They can respond to threats. They can showcase themselves as a cybersecurity professional after this course, after learning all this stuff. So they can do a own analysis. They can provide a lot of inputs for the organization, for them to how to do the protection, how to do the implementation. So in this way they can learn a lot in this particular course.
True. And mostly the leads, like let's say who have 10 or 15 years experience, they would be beneficial regardless of whatever the stream they're in, because they would be in a key position where they'll be leading a team and they would be needing this kind of, information and, knowledge to just to know, they have to know, and then they can implement with the team, right? So yeah, that's what I thought. So thank you. Thanks, Shiva.
Hi, Shiva. This is Mohan. Thanks for the
Hi,
session.
Mohan.
It is a very beautiful session and a lot of information you have given. Thank you so much. But my question is, I am from the DevOps background now. For the last 3 years, I've been working as a DevOps engineer. But how come it will be useful for me to get transition to the cybersecurity area? Because if you want to concentrate in the DevOps, I couldn't able to concentrate multiple tools which is coming up in the market. But how the cybersecurity will help me to transit my DevOps skills to that cybersecurity? In which
You
area I need to concentrate on?
Yep. So now you say you are DevOps. In a
Yeah.
single word, like say after this course is completed, you can say DevSecOps. Okay. So you can add the security posture into that. So obviously you will be handling certain amount of data into the cloud to building up the DevOps and all the stuff. So what we will do here is we will be putting that all the security related things, all the related to the data security and the implementation and the policies, procedures, everything. So when you're, let's take an example, you're working with the DevOps and you might find some auditing log information, okay, which is security related, security auditing information, and you want to do some investigation towards to that. And this particular course, which helps you to do the investigation towards the DevOps tools and what happened at the background, what is the authentication, what is the API queries which went in here and there, what kind of a query is that get post methods, or what is the connection code for that. So this kind of all the stuff you will be learning and you will be implementing there as well. Now, in terms of like after DevOps and you want to see how to protect all your environment with the available security solutions. And again, that's going to help you understand what needs to be put here. We have a defense of depth mechanism to protect from the network layer, endpoint layer, and the user layer. So we will be implementing some few security solutions here and there to enable the security for the applications or whatever the technology you are going to use. So in this way, you will be learning all the stuff and you will be implementing it inside your project. And another thing, if you want to switch something towards the cybersecurity and from the DevOps, and here the cybersecurity is a big vertical. You have so many domains there, and the technology is emerging and growing a lot, and there are so many projects we are building up inside the Kubernetes, inside the Dockers, in the projects. The people who are building their own, including with the advantage of DevOps plus cybersecurity, you have a more advantage to get into those kind of a position. So that's where you need to hunt and you need to develop your skill into that.
Thank you. Thanks, Shiva.
Shiva, I am Vinod. I'm working as a network engineer. So sorry, I have joined late. I have one question. So, in network, usually the threats are happening only through the public-facing devices, like kind of internet routers. So, we used to get a mail or alert from the cybersecurity team to block or uh, block on the internet router sites or in public-facing devices. So, is there any other ways the hackers will come through our network, internal network? So, is it only through the public-facing devices or internet-facing devices, or how?
Yeah.
I-
So yep, hi Vinod, yep. The network layer is the one layer where the attacks are coming from. Yes, of course, you have the IPS, you have the firewall, you have a lot of things to protect the network connectivity. But when it's come to the endpoint, the user, while sitting in the organization, you can say, yes, the users are protected. But when a user is connected to other Wi-Fi's, the network is not routed from your companies or your firewalls.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
So the user is directly now exposed to the internet if they're connected to another Wi-Fi. Simple. Okay. Now
Oh,
user
okay.
wants to download something which you don't know, which you're not aware of, and user downloaded, and the malware comes to the endpoint. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay,
And
okay. Got
then
it.
user goes to the company and connect your network. And then now this particular malware has the capability spreading from one machine to another machine via the port SMB, server message block. You are aware of that port 445.
Yes.
So that is another risk. So which is internally lateral movement from one machine to another machine. Now your network is completely bypassed. If you are collecting the internal connectivity logs, then you can able to detect. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So this way,
Okay.
and user can be entered into the. So
To the
obviously,
endpoint.
yeah, you need to have the antivirus, you need to have the endpoint detection and response in place for the endpoints to protect this kind of an attacks.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
that time
Shiva,
the VPN will take care, right?
Sorry?
Mostly VPN. Sometimes VPN will not block all this. Currently, usually nowadays they are using not full VPN. Nowadays they are using like kind of internet traffic will go directly through their modem and
So I will
they're
explain
only.
you this.
Yeah.
VPN, we use VPN to connect for the company network. So if you want to access something, the jump server or anything in the company, you will connect it to a virtual private network. It will connect to your company network and then you will bring the data. So if you are simply browsing with the Chrome, just typing a facebook.com, it doesn't require the VPN. People does not use the VPN for the facebook.com.
Yeah. So no, what is my point is it's you are connecting public network or protected network. Always you need to start VPN going to create a company cider range. So the system company cider range will understand, hey, he's coming through the VPN, so he can access it. So that time the public network, private network doesn't matter, right?
No, see, that's what I told. Like, you want to connect to the company network, that you need a VPN. And if not, it's not necessary. So in our example, we just used for the browsers, and user always connects to the internet and doing some own stuff. In that case, they will get compromised.
I think even the split tunneling will have this issue, right? A split tunnel will send the internet traffic directly through the internet and internal traffic directly to the internet.
Shiva, this is Mohan again. What are the prerequisites for this cybersecurity course, and then how long this course is going to be? And then it is going to be weekend or weekdays? What is the timing? Those are the things.
This course we are planning for the weekends, and this is going to be for the 2 months, 60 days course. And the prerequisites is like we don't have any prerequisites for that. We don't have any sets for this, because this is going to be start from the scratch, and I'm going to teach you from the scratch, including the networking and all the stuff. So it doesn't require any kind of a prerequisites or any programming skill or Python skill to be involved into the cybersecurity course.
What will be the fees?
That team will connect with you.
Yeah, we're still working on that. We'll share in the WhatsApp.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, so any other questions, team? Fine. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your time. It was very good session. I hope so. You will all enjoy this, and you might get some information about the cybersecurity. And I'm open for the discussion anytime. Like, if you have any queries towards this course and towards this anything syllabus or anything related to cybersecurity, you can reach out to me. Team will share my number. I'm happy to assist you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all.
Sure. Thanks, Shiva. Thanks a lot. So it's
Thank you,
really
Shiva.
wonderful, and
Thank
we
you.
understood a lot of things. And yeah, just on a closing note, so this is not just for a course we are doing. This is just we are creating as awareness. Also, we just want to know like what all things are there in IT and how you can pitch your career. What will be useful for you to go on horizontal and vertical, all these areas. So this is the kind of knowledge sharing session. We are trying to keep it weekly, and we bring a lot of this kind of experts gets in a different area, so that you will also benefit. So thanks a lot for attending, everybody. It's Sunday morning, I believe in US Sunday morning, in India it's Sunday night. Thanks for your valuable time of 1 hour. We hope we added some value to your time. And thanks a lot. So if you want to further details about the course, and if you want to join the course, we have a form provided, and our WhatsApp number is there. You can feel free to reach out to us for any doubts regarding IT related career or anything like that. So thank you. Thanks a lot.